choose a dying industry? Am I doomed to be replaced by AI, only to switch careers and then for that one to be replaced over and over and over until I live on the side of the road in a box? No!
Not really. Probably not. By now I'm sure you've seen Google's new Veo 3, their next step in AI video generation. And I'll admit, it looks impressive. It also launched alongside Google's Flow, which is an AI editing software that works in conjunction with Veo 3. So now you can make your very own short films for only $250 a month.
Next, you can start to assemble all of those clips together. With a single prompt, you can describe what you want, including very precise camera controls. Flow puts everything in place, and I can keep iterating this snowball. Now here's where it gets really exciting. If I want to capture the next shot of the scene, I can just hit the plus icon to create the next shot. I can describe what I want to happen next, like adding a 10-foot tall chicken in the backseat, and Flow will do the rest. The character consistency. It just works.
Now I work in film and media, and I consult with local businesses and schools on how to use AI for good and not garbage. I've been teaching ethical and effective use of AI for years at this point, and now it's coming for the core of my job. So that begs the question, is this the end of the film industry? Now, while this guy may think it looks amazing, as a licensed film snob, it still looks like complete garbage. Oh, I need to put on my film snob hat. Now, I don't need to point out the flat lighting, the uninspired framing, or the bad editing, because audiences will feel that. Sure, film snobs may be able to explain why everything feels off, but audiences will still understand that strange feeling they get watching their first AI film. They might not know why, but if this is blown up to anything bigger than a 6-inch iPhone screen, it's going to look visibly off. But okay, obviously it's not going to look like this forever. The technology is constantly improving. Heck, 2 years ago, state-of-the-art video generation looked like this.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
So what about when it gets good? Like, actually good? Well, let me tell you a little secret about filmmakers. We're kind of perfectionists. If you are lucky enough to be a director of photography for your career, you take it pretty seriously. Again, this is an industry of artists, and even once the look and sound is perfected, you still don't get the same level of control that happens when you're doing the activity yourself. A camera operator can choose a very specific angle, or a gaffer can add or subtract light, and the sound tech can tell everybody to shut up because they're being picked up by the boom. Alright, but one day we're gonna have a model that gives full camera and 360 control over what you're filming. Now what? Every job on set has been replaced by AI, right down to the PA.
Would you like some water?
Once again, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I direct your attention to the fact that this is an industry full of artists. It doesn't matter if it takes 3 seconds to generate at the drop of the hat exactly what they're thinking. They're in it for the love of the process. They love operating a camera. They love getting clean audio. These storytellers in the film industry don't just care that they have a story to tell other people. They care about the process. We'll come back to that. But in fact, I think AI could be great for the film industry. With everybody making low-budget AI slop, artists are going to express a counter-movement. This will lead to more interesting films that take more risks and give new perspectives on the media.
You have ignored me for too long. Money will replace your puny job, not the desires of naive artists.
Alright, fine. Let's talk about the money. AI will not take over an entire industry because artists decide to let a robot do their job. The AI takeover will be due to the powers that be demanding product for as cheap as possible. And I don't want to place blame on producers or studios or any entity really. I think that's a massive overgeneralization that will ultimately place blame on the wrong people. But the truth is that film is a business. And if the product can be made for lower cost, it only makes sense to optimize production and make more profit. But will this work? The truth is, most people hate this stuff right now. The money follows the eyeballs, and right now there are plenty of people who won't watch a show or movie because it's AI generated. Even the people who can't tell the difference would ultimately turn it off because again, it's not that good. And remember, these AI films aren't just competing with the best and brightest filmmakers of our era, they're also competing with the best and brightest filmmakers of every era, due to the accessibility of streaming. As long as AI stays mediocre, it will not be the best product and will lose the game of capitalism. Furthermore, being an industry full of artists matters. There used to be whole audiences that would show up to the theater just to see what Jimmy Stewart was up to. Star power matters. That's why Chris Pratt is Mario and Garfield and Emmett. That's why...
am Steve.
The use of AI in Hollywood would lose star power, which would lose eyeballs, which would lose money. Even if actors licensed out their likeness to be used in AI films, I really don't think it would captivate many audiences because it's not their performance. I don't really care what an AI-generated prompt says Jim Carrey would do. I want to see how he acts it out in front of a camera. Also, honorable mention to the fact that it's really hard to fund a film. I'm sure you can nitpick all kinds of problems in all kinds of movies, but it's hard to get into writing because it's oversaturated. The process of getting films funded filters out a lot of bad ideas, bad scripts, and bad premises. And if these are the stories that are being told by AI, then they're gonna suck. AI will be stigmatized as crappy, and the medium will go nowhere. That all being said, we are about to see the rise of a whole new type of art, consumer concocted media. Rather than trained writers, directors, and actors bringing these stories to life, it will be a guy with an idea and a laptop. While this can lead to some breakout hits, it also has some serious downsides. Oh, time for the hat again. The artists who create media have intuition and know why some stuff works and others doesn't. They've honed their skills not just to have the hard skills of how to use an editing software, but also the softer skills of methodology. The people creating AI films will most likely suck because they don't have these softer skills, which will lead to a quicker commercial failure, especially when it oversaturates the market. That's why ultimately, if you don't want film, television, and entertainment to be taken over by robots, you need to vote with your eyeballs. If AI films make no money and sell no merch, then they won't be seen as a viable option to make good movies and good product. Don't get me wrong, AI will continue to revolutionize and disrupt many industries, including the film industry. And it won't be an easy path, but if we are intentional with our attention, film might just survive.